No one is above the law, no matter where we come from, no matter our different looks, our different races, maybe even different blood types. We are nowhere above the law. We should never consider ourselves as such. Although for one man, one president, he sees the law as something that needs to be more than captured and needs to be handled by the proper authorities, not people in tight spandex or flying around in capes or standing upon rooftops. For this one president, he decided to outlaw superheroes in general, except for his one task force that he ended up putting together. However, he tried to make a peace treaty with one of his old adversaries, one of his mortal enemies. But of course, he uses this to backfire against his enemies, turning the entire world against him and a fellow ally. He declared that there will be $1 million for both of them, whether they be alive or dead. This is the tale of how one man turned these heroes into public enemies. Greetings, nerds, I'm Universe, and I'm Nerdy, and welcome back to SuperJune. And we're gonna cover one of my all-time favorite, not just Superman and Batman movies, probably one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Not my number one favorite, of course. That honor goes to Mask of the Phantasm. And will I ever review that movie? Maybe. But I'll keep you waiting. So anyways, we're here to talk about Superman Batman Public Enemies, based off of a graphic novel by, hold on here, by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. Now, to be fair, the movie does do a great job of trying to capture the terrific art style of Ed McGuinness, something that looks animated, but yet in a comic book form. I do love Ed McGuinness' art style, even still to this day. And Jeff Loeb is a very good writer, not only writing this, but as well as one of the other Batman credited and mostly critically acclaimed stories. I'm pretty sure he also wrote the Long Halloween, someone can correct me on that, but he mostly is credited for writing the book Hush. And this is one of them, crossing over the world, finding a superhero team back together again, and reuniting an all-star cast, including Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cast members Kevin Conroy and Clancy Brown, but not bringing back George Newbern, instead of having Superman from Superman the Animated Series, Tim Daly, appear in this. So, how does this turn out? Well, even though it is one of my favorite animated movies of all time and one of my favorite Superman and Batman movies of all time, I am gonna joke and riff on this movie, but I do it out of love. And also, this movie might trigger some people because what's going on in the real world now is very apparent in this movie. I'm warning people in advance. So, let's see how the world's finest and world's greatest superheroes end up becoming the public enemies. This is my review of Superman Batman Public Enemies. So, let's get that reward bounty on our heads and take a dive into the DC Universe and see how we become public enemies. The world goes to hell in a handbasket, and quite quickly. The world is in a financial crisis, the world is in a constant living state, and the world is also torn apart by torment and, of course, war. But of course, the idea of multimillionaire Lex Luthor becoming president is, of course, a very stupid idea. But somehow, Lex Luthor ends up winning the presidential debate in the presidential term. And suddenly, Luthor is elected president of the United States, and thus he declares that all superheroes and superheroisms are an act of crime, except for his own task force. His task force consists of the following superheroes: Captain Atom, Black Lightning, Katana, Major Force, whose first appearance I think was in this book or Green Lantern, and as well as a new member, Power Girl, but we'll talk more about her when the time comes and how she plays quite a big role, like her broadside, in this movie, and yes, that joke was personally intended. After the opening, we see a criminal trying to basically escape from police custody. Until he is caught by the Man of Steel himself, he is under arrest by Superman. As of course, Superman is yelled at by Luthor's own little personal gang of, well, you might well call them fanboys, and is told that what he's doing is illegal. As the heroes want Superman to stand down, but Superman refuses. He cannot let Metropolis go in harm's way, nor does he trust President Luthor. As Lex Luthor and Amanda Waller are keeping her eye on something quite unstoppable, a huge meteorite of kryptonite, and they plan that it's going to explode on Earth. Superman decides to go visit his best friend and best buddy, Batman, because President Luthor wants to meet with him, as Batman tells him that there's a kryptonite meteorite attending to Earth. As Soups goes to meet with the president, and of course he doesn't actually want to, but he's just doing it on his personal favor, when all of a sudden, Superman should have seen this coming.
I'm done with you. Now you slimy.
It's a trap.
And Luthor does this all on purpose to hold Superman accountable for his inconstant actions, especially with the meteorite, by having boy toy Metallo go right along with him. As you'd expect, Superman promptly gets his ass handed to him by Metallo, because of course he has the kryptonite heart. But don't worry, Superman has backup.
What are you doing?
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm awesome. I got a 9-pack.
However, things take a turn for worse for dear Superman, as he takes a kryptonite bullet straight to the heart, as Batman had to try to operate. But what's even worse is that they're buried under by Metallo. Oh, they're not dead, of course, far from it, but of course the two superheroes have a sticky situation that they need to get out from, which unfortunately, for Batman, it involves explosives. As someone, a hidden figure, beats up with Metallo, tells him that he fucked up, and obliterates him, and I do mean that he frickin' obliterates him. Gee, I wonder who on Lex Luthor's own task team would be responsible for this. It's not like one of them would straight out and blatantly be as evil as expected. Nope, most certainly not. After making it back to the Batcave and basically establishing how the world gone to hell in a handbasket, the heroes get more bad news, especially from the President Luthor. Luthor appears on TV and proudly proclaims that because of the kryptonite meteorite, Superman straight up and publicly and definitely killed Metallo. But Luthor put together information, he quote-unquote edits video information, and of course decides to turn the entire world against Superman and any and all who help him. Even worse, he offers us some reward, $1 million for the head of Superman, for anyone and everyone that could ultimately kill him. When Lexi is visited by a familiar face, Power Girl, yet she has a big role in this movie and she tried to interfere with Luthor's plans, at least at first. Lex keeps trying to manipulate and captivate Power Girl and working for him, even though she doesn't want to. She believes Superman is right, but yet she cannot prove it. What's worse is that when Batman and Superman interrogate the skull that remain found in Metallo, they figure out that he was vaporized by something that's radiated, which of course is not Superman. But things are made worse when the two superheroes go outside and suddenly they are confronted by a whole bunch of supervillains. Silver Banshee, Captain Cold, Mr. Freeze, Killer Frost, and a bunch of others. And the situation goes from bad to worse. A bunch of supervillains right out of the framework start coming for Superman and Batman, thus declaring that they all want that reward.
Alright. Fuck it. Let's give the people what they came for.
Let's fucking go.
As all the villains close in to try to get them. But of course, help comes in the form of Captain Atom and the other team that had met with Superman previously and before. Now including Starfire for some reason, the Lex Luthor task force tries to get Superman and Batman to stop what they're doing, otherwise they'd have to arrest them, which of course they both say the same thing, fuck it. However, Power Girl is still mixed with her feelings about Lex Luthor, but Batman and Superman are able to convince her that Luthor is the enemy, especially for the way that Luthor makes Power Girl feel. But of course, it's not long before Lex Luthor's own publicity gain comes in facing off with them again. But Power Girl takes one bad situation and makes it worse.
Do you know what you've done?
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
So because Power Girl's brain exists in her Wonder Bra, I suppose, she accidentally cracked the shell of Major Force which leaks out radiation, which isn't good. And thus it means that Major Force is dead. And unfortunately for Captain Atom, he's knocked out cold for quite some time, which have Superman and Bats going after President Luthor. And when they find President Luthor, but unfortunately they find two unexpected people waiting for them. The world's mightiest Marvel, Captain Marvel, and of course also Carter Hall, Hawkman. And I have to say, if you love superhero fights, you would love this fight sequence. It is nothing short of awesome, especially to see Superman try to deal with Captain Marvel and Batman deal with Hawkman. After the fight, Batman and Superman, in disguise, try to deal with Luthor, but unfortunately for Luthor, he'd been doing a bit of the drugs. He'd been taking kryptonite and putting it in his system. Not even kidding either, because there's a scene earlier of Luthor injecting himself with kryptonite, thus making himself stronger and making Superman basically immune to him. And also, of course, for the President, or for Luthor in general, he got himself in his body armor suit, so nobody can take him down, and he's not going out without a fight. And so Batman and Superman go to visit one of Batman's friends, Toyman. No, not the Superman villain Toyman, instead a different Toyman, the one that you've probably seen in that stupid Suicide Squad game. This Toyman, Hero, is a child protege that's been building a Superman-Batman robot, so that way there that Batman can go up and destroy the kryptonite meteorite. But they're not alone. As Lex decides if you can't do nothing right, you gotta do it yourself. So he decides to take out Power Girl and challenge Superman to a fight while Batman takes care of the meteorite. Which of course Superman takes Lex Luthor on a trip all throughout America just to stop him. Which of course he ends up doing by making him smash down and crash down in Metropolis. As after Batman destroys the meteorite, Superman goes up to save his world's best friend. As everybody knows that the entire Justice League and the superheroes in general are the world's greatest. As the world-renowned, the remembered superheroes, and of course, they're now no longer public enemies, and Power Girl joins them, and of course, Lex Luthor has to bitch as he's going off to prison. And so our movie ends with one adventure done, but another adventure starting, especially for Superman who's waiting for Lois, as the movie rolls to credits. Superman Batman Public Enemies is a great movie. Sure, I skipped around a lot and I tried to summarize a lot as best I could, but it is really a great damn movie and it is worth watching, especially if you can find it. It is such an amazing, really spectacular, and pun intended, super film. I really do love it. The animation style is excellent. The voice cast is so well chosen, and the music is pretty damn awesome for the most part. Not as awesome as Superman Red Sun, but comes pretty damn close for the music to kick in, especially on cue where necessary. So I would highly recommend Superman Batman Public Enemies, especially where and if you can find it. And if you're wondering what my Funko Pop rating of Superman Batman Public Enemy is, I already recommend it. But I'm gonna give it the Funko Pop rating of a Superman because I can always look at it, smile, and always appreciate what I have. And so Superman Batman Public Enemies get the Funko Pop rating of a Superman. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I upload. I'll be right in the first about nerdy, keep it on. And also be sure to follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And please check out Superman Batman Public Enemies, especially if you can. It's a really enjoyable movie, and it is really worth your time and effort. This was a surprise buy for me, so I absolutely just love it, so check it out if and when you can. And SuperJune continues. But as we talk about the world's greatest heroes going up against pretty much the world's great threat, we have to deal with an even bigger threat. And of course, the death of a beloved superhero. Until next time.